There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to Sci-Fi Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean Fangirl S, and today we'll be discussing episode 12 of season 5 of Van Helsing.
Oh, we're here. We're at the penultimate episode of the series.
God, it's crazy. Still, like I said last episode, I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, this made
because the way this one ended, it's like, what?
Yeah, now what?
Yeah, I'm really confused that there's only one more.
Right. Well, let's get into episode 12, The Voices. Vanessa, Axel, Jack, Violet, and Ivory finally reunite in the real world and begin to plan to take down the Dark One.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we pick up right where we left off in the Oval Office as Vanessa gets thrown into the wall by a Dark One. Vanita taunts the Dark One over losing her beloved and letting a Van Helsing get close enough to bite her as she changes back into Vanessa.
I love that too.
Yes, that was awesome. Vanessa knocks the Dark One over the desk with her powers. She asks if she's feeling it yet, and the Dark One replies, "You were never this powerful before." Well, duh. You stick me in the Dark Realm, I'm gonna learn something.
I mean, that only makes sense. You put her there. What did you think? She wouldn't figure anything out?
Right. So the Dark One jumps on the desk and knocks Vanessa into the coffee table, but stops as the effects of Vanessa's bite somehow brings Olivia out.
That was weird. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple things that I was just kind of scratching my head on, and this was one of them. I wasn't sure how that was possible.
Well, I mean, this is what I thought was good, because at some point, Vanessa does say, "Oh, you didn't kill her."
Right.
So it's like, oh, she's been trapped in there this whole time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of messed up.
Yes, it is. As Olivia asks Vanessa if she can help her, and the Dark One regains control, asking, "What have you done to me?" Wouldn't you like to know? We gave you COVID.
Like, haha.
So Olivia comes back telling Vanessa it's weakening, and she can feel it. And Vanessa asks, "Who are you?" "I'm Olivia. Can you please help me?" Poor Vanessa, just blown her whole mind over this.
Well, yeah, because she has no idea.
No idea, exactly. And the Dark One returns, and Vanessa tells her that her bite was a little more powerful than you thought. And the Dark One tells her to stay away from me.
It's like,
scared?
Oh, what? Yeah. Don't you want to play?
Yeah. Vanessa figures that maybe one more bite will let Olivia out and rushes her, but is not able to bite her. The Dark One pushes Vanessa into the desk, and Vanessa grabs the letter opener and rams it into her chest. So Vanessa decides it's time to hightail it out of there as the Dark One struggles to remove the letter opener. Maybe you should have stayed there and bit her some more, and of course, trying to take her head off with that letter opener might have been a bit difficult.
Right? It's not like that was a big old chainsaw.
Right. So we go over to Resistance HQ, where Bathory is in bad shape, and the threat of another attack. Jack has Weathers take Bathory to a secondary HQ. Jack knows that Vanessa needs to know what has happened, and Ivory tells her that she will go, and that Jack should go with Weathers. Well,
I'm shocked she said okay.
Yeah, I am too. They arrive at the new HQ, and Weathers informs Jack that the place is secure and Bathory is safe and sedated. We shall see.
Right?
So we go
trust it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's sedatives strong enough to keep Bathory sedated. So Ivory's making her way to the sundial as police are informing everyone to get off the streets as the curfew remains in effect. And this is in the middle of the day, so apparently they've changed the curfew. And Axel grabs Ivory, and who gives him a big ol' hug, which was great.
Better than a sword through the chest.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Then fills them in on what has happened so far as they go look for a message. Axel has them duck behind bushes as a policeman drives by, but when Ivory stands back up, he pulls her back down, telling her he feels something.
This is probably not good.
Yeah. Yeah. A policeman walks by the sundial and heads towards them. Ivory pulls her gun and Axel tells her there's no need. And as the policeman gets closer, Axel says, "Hey!" And the policeman smiles and turns back into Vanessa, who notices they have a new player in Ivory.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
What?
We got the Queen of the Sisterhood on our side. That was unexpected. And the Oracle now.
Oh, yeah, I totally forget that she doesn't have all this information.
Right. And they need to get out of the park. So back at the new HQ, Jack goes to Bathory and tries to get through to her, reminding her of the scroll and who she is. We go to the Oval Office. Olivia tells the Dark One her time has passed. Whoa! Even Olivia's getting a little feisty here. And the Dark One decides...
probably not a good thing to do.
No, she needs to use her own darkness to regain her strength, so she cuts her wrist.
And this is where I was questioning. I'm like, wait a second.
Yes.
She literally broke a mirror and couldn't bleed.
Right.
And now she's suddenly able to bleed again?
Yeah. I questioned that too. And Jonathan came back with the Dark One's human.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
No, she took the body of the human that was drained of all blood.
I'm like, okay, if that's how we're playing it, but this is confusing.
Right. And she collects the blood in the glass and drinks it, saying that she can sense the Oracle is not dead yet. And we go back to Bathory, and we hear her say, "Stay away from me. I'm not yours anymore." Unfortunately, when her eyes open, those don't quite look like Bathory's eyes. They're the grayish type. So later, Vanessa and company arrive at the new HQ, and Jack tells Vi that she knew she would show up. Jack asks about Axel, and Vi tells her that they have a plan, and he's putting the finishing touches on it.
Great.
Vanessa, yeah.
No, I was just thinking, great.
Yeah.
Another half-assed plan. Are you going to fill me in?
Right. We have no idea what Axel's up to. But you got to figure it probably has something to do with the military, at least. Seeing that they've gotten there. Yeah, they've gotten there. And, well, I guess Diggs could have taken him to the tunnels. That is kind of curious there. Because we still don't know what Park's involvement in all this is going to be just yet.
Right.
So Vanessa tells Jack that the Dark One is losing control. Violet realizes that it was Vanessa who got them out of the ambush from the Oracle. Yes, she did. So Jack takes Vanessa to see Bathory, explaining that she helped try to stop the Dark One with her, and that she was a vampire hunter as well, which just confused the hell out of Vanessa. And she wonders if she's too far gone, and Jack tells her that she's the key to everything. We go back upstairs, and we see Ivory having some flashbacks from being on the stake and of the sisterhood, as she hears the voices of darkness asking her to help take it from her.
Yeah, I was like, what is this now? What is happening?
Right. They are in too close a proximity of the Dark One. Now, I'm surprised that she wasn't able to do that mind trick on Axel or even Vanessa or even Jack or Violet for that matter. But I guess she's in a weakened state and she can only go after one or two. Of course, Violet asks if she's okay, and Ivory tells her it was nothing and walks away. Well, that ain't being, you gotta talk. So
yeah, like fill people in. Don't just be like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah. Jack and Vanessa enter where Bathory is being kept, and Vanessa can tell something isn't right as Jack sees blood on the floor. Jack runs to her as we see a bed spring has been pulled out and used to cut her wrists.
That's not good either.
No. Though I think with the way this episode ended, I would have preferred it ending for Bathory right there.
Right? Like, I don't know, pass on some information, something.
Right. So we cut to a scene where the VP is being escorted out of the building by two Delta forces, and as he starts to fight with them, shots ring out as the Delta vamps go down. The VP wants to know what the hell is this, and Axel shows up telling him it's a rescue mission, as he and the others take some heads heads off.
Yeah, I love it how the VP is just like, oh, what is that? What's happening here? And I do have to say the behind the scenes that the special effects guy was sharing on Twitter. He's like, I love this part because we used a blood cannon. I'm like, how often are those words going to go together?
Right.
I love this part and blood cannon. It's like, okay.
Yeah, shooting
only
the vice president too.
Right? Only certain places you can say that, apparently.
Right.
And this is one of them. Go figure.
So we go back to the HQ where Weather gives Bathory more sedatives. Glad she survived the Bathory attack. At least one of them did. And Vanessa asks Jack if Jack feels guilty, and Jack tells her about how close they got to ending the Dark One, and it was all because of Bathory. And Vanessa asks her about Olivia, and Jack tells her that she was good and pure, and she was the one that murdered her. Vanessa explains to the others that Olivia is fighting back against the Dark One, and Ivory tells them that the Dark One will be working on ways to protect herself, and Vanessa adds that she knows she's back as well. So yeah, then all their possible surprises are just about gone.
Yeah, plots and schemes, they didn't work out so well.
Axel arrives with the VP stating he has the key to getting inside the White House. Vanessa wants to know, how did you pull it off? Well, Axel isn't giving up all his secrets, but the problem is convincing the VP that they're actually on his side.
Yeah, he literally seen what happened, and he's like, I don't know who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, he was being a real prick about it. So whether
like, how do I know you're not lying? It's like,
yeah, you're not vampires, just look like humans. That's what the president told us anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah. Weathers reminds them that this is treason as they remove the gag from the VP who's restrained in a chair. And of course, he's not buying anything the group is selling, especially about the president being Dracula. Bathory
Seriously. After everything you've just seen.
Yeah. Bathory screams out and Jack and Vanessa go to check on her. Vanessa asks how she got like this, and Jack tells her it's the price for using the scroll. And I had completely forgotten about that.
See, I didn't
way
think
back
that was...
when. Oh, yeah. Bathory did tell Jack that there was a price for using the scroll.
I thought she was normal, though, after she used it.
Well, no, because as she was using it, when Dracula got that little bit of power, she used it to make Bathory blind, remember?
Oh, right.
Ill from there.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So Vanessa thinks she may be able to help her clear her mind. It's something that she learned in the Dark Realm. Vanessa puts her hand on Bathory's head and starts sucking the darkness out of her. Oh, that is some trick there, Vanessa.
Yeah, you've seen like all of it up her arms and around her eyes. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Back up to the VP, who realizes that they are on the most wanted list, calling them vampires. Weather tells the VP that he is wrong, but he's not going to help them take out the president, and even calls the general a traitor. So Axel pulls out his last ace in the hole, a recording of Park telling him that the plan worked, but he's still not buying it. So Vanessa turns to him and goes, I got this. And she basically loses it and says, okay, you're going to find out one way or the other. I'm biting you.
Yeah, well, I guess if I'm a vampire, so are you. It's like, what?
Yeah. So we go back to Vanessa as she's really still pulling darkness out of Bathory. And Violet joins them and Jack fills her in on what they're attempting to do. And we start to hear the dark voices as Vanessa's veins get darker even more. Vanessa screams and collapses, and when she regains consciousness, she asks if Bathory is okay. Jack checks on Bathory, who recognizes her, meaning her sight is back also.
What I thought was interesting, though, when Vanessa fell over, the girls yelled, Mom.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Exactly.
Like, there was a bit of a stretch. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yep. But biologically, she is. And that's one thing they've had to hold on to for this whole, since they've been involved.
No, that's true.
So Jack cuts the restraints and helps Bathory to a sitting position, telling her that Vanessa saved her and she thanks her. Back upstairs, the VP, who's now convinced, is showing Axel how to get into the White House via underground tunnels. And Vanessa and the group come upstairs, and guess who's not happy seeing Bathory?
Well, I mean, are you surprised?
No, not at all. Not after what he had to go through with Scarlet. And Bathory apologizes, but he tells her to play her part, and afterwards he hopes to never see her again. And of course, the VP asks, if she's as strong as you say, do you really think you can kill her? Well, at this point in time, we think yes.
Well, I guess all we can do is hope.
Right. We go back to the Oval Office where we notice that the Dark One is searching for Bathory and finally finds her and her eyes go gray. And that cannot be a good sign.
I didn't know who she was searching for.
Right.
Since we had the voices with Ivory.
Right.
I'm like, who is she trying to find?
Right. Yeah, that's true. So back at HQ, the VP is on the sat phone giving orders to clear the White House of all Secret Service agents without notifying the Delta Force or the president, and to contact the general for verification. Vanessa tells him that the Delta Force and the president won't take the bait of a disaster drill. Axel asks when they are to strike, and Vanessa tells him as soon as all the people are out of the White House.
Yeah, I loved how she was very specific. She's like, the people. It's like,
yes.
Oh.
So Jack joins Violet, who asks if she's ready and is told almost. Jack talks to Ivory, having to pry what is bothering out of her. Ivory admits at first she thought it was the Dark One, but eventually figured it was the Sisterhood. Say what?
Yeah, it's like, huh? What do you mean the Sisterhood?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's
just if the
really
sisters were killed, they could still be part of the darkness that powers the Dark One. So yeah, I guess I can buy that. So Ivory tells Jack she will honor them even if it means her death, and Jack assures her that she won't let that happen. So Vanessa decides it's now time to have her mom talk with Violet. And Vanessa tells her that she knows it was difficult for her to learn that she was a biological mother. And Violet replies, oh, I've had plenty of time to process that, and starts to walk off. Vanessa stops her and tells her that she doesn't have to harden herself. She needs to feel. And Violet tells her that she can't get close to her because she doesn't know how this will end. Vanessa replies that none of us do, and then explains what she went through when she lost Dylan and Scarlet and the mother she never knew. It almost broke her. She goes on to tell her that the darkness feeds on sadness, despair, and grief, and the more you try to stuff that down, the stronger it gets. And she just wants to know that she's going to be okay. Violet explains, we're only DNA, and Vanessa goes, that doesn't matter. She thinks about them all the time, and thinking of something happening to them, she just pushes it away, and that's what makes us human, and don't lose sight of that. And you see both women's eyes well up, and they hug, and Jack comes up and offers the amulet to Vanessa, who tells her to keep it. Maybe that wasn't the right move.
I don't know, because I think ultimately it's going to end up being one of the girls that have to do it.
Right.
And the pod dog agrees.
Yes. So Jack asks Violet if everything is all right, and Violet tells her for the first time she thinks so. Wow. Good talk, Vanessa.
Yeah, because Violet isn't exactly Miss Emotional.
No, she definitely pushes things down.
Yes.
So Jack joins Bathory as she's looking at the scroll and asks if she can still read it. Bathory tells her they are powerful for those who can read them, and mentions that she was with the Dark One for so very long. And Jack tells her she knows. She
just kind of kept saying stuff like that. It's like,
right. That she is struggling, having to step into a fight. Yep. Bathory asks what's going to happen. And of course, Jack explains that when she bites the Dark One, she will take all the darkness and put it into the amulet, which Bathory doesn't seem to remember. Not good.
No, because she was acting really funny. It's like, again, Jack, why are you telling everything?
Right.
Just tell her your part. This is what you need to do.
Yep.
Don't worry about the rest.
Yeah. And Bathory tells Jack there's just one more thing, and pulls Jack close to her and buries a knife into her chest and takes the amulet. Later, the others find Jack, remove the knife, and they go searching for Bathory. Well, they find her positioned on a parapet on the roof, amulet in hand, ready to take it with her on her long walk off a short ledge.
That's horrible.
Yes. And we are in a bit of a pickle. Now, of course, you got Axel that wants to take her down now. And the girls are not wanting to do that. They're trying to save her. And they even sneak around a equipment up on the roof, only to have the Dark One take control, blast them out of the way, and open the amulet, letting the darkness escape.
Yeah, it's probably not a good thing.
Nope. And as Bathory realizes what has happened and what she's done, and knowing she'll never be free of Dracula's grip, she just swan dives off the ledge.
And again, I'm like, won't she just get back up? Just like Flesh and Julius and Doc and everybody else.
Right.
And I was told by the showrunner, no. It's like, but you guys literally wrote that in.
Yes. And why didn't they beat feet down there and at least get the amulet? So in case they are able to do something, they still have a place to put the Dark One spirit.
I don't know. Maybe they're going to grab it.
Right.
But as of right now, it's like, oh, this could be nothing but good, right?
Yeah. So, of course, where'd that darkness go to? Well, it went right to the source, returning to Dracula, and her full and former power is back.
Yeah, and a whole lot of stuff happening.
Right. That just doesn't look good.
No, because it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, well, the apocalypse, basically. That scene in Independence Day with the aliens like fired on the White House. It was kind of like that, but in reverse.
Right.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
So at least Axel's like, oh, what's that? It's like, Thank you, Axel, for stating the obvious, because I was thinking the same thing.
Exactly. Well, it might be football time.
Yeah, it's going to have to be something.
Yeah.
Because this really looks bad.
Yes, it does. And how they're going to resolve it in one episode.
Exactly.
Oh, I hope you have a giant surprise for us, Jonathan.
Kind of have to. I mean, there's no other way. I don't know how they're going to do this.
No,
they're going to nuke the whole world.
Yep, no telling. I don't know. I guess Vanessa could go in as Bathory, saying that she got away, see if the Dark One will buy that, and then
probably
bite her.
Not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
I don't think she'll let anybody get close to her now.
No, but that's some of her power as well. So she doesn't have a bride anymore. So even though she's got all her darkness back, she's still not at full power. And of course, there's still Olivia in there somewhere. So
I just feel like somehow Olivia's going to be able to sense like her child or something.
Right.
Like through all of the Van Helsings. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see if Jack shows up, the Dark One sees Jack and Olivia comes out. You're the one who killed me.
I don't know. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, it will be. Who knows? Maybe it'll follow the Bram Stoker's ending of Dracula. I kind of get a feeling that that's about the only way they can do it now.
You know what? It makes me wonder because a lot of people were hashtagging like Bram Stoker while they were tweeting this episode.
Yes. Yep.
So now I'm wondering, this should be interesting. But all right. Well, you know how we feel. We want to know how you feel. Shoot us an email at sci-fi talk@fangirlzone.com. You can also go to www.fangirlzone.com and hit our contacts page. And there's all sorts of ways to get a hold of us. You can tweet with us, Facebook message, or just send us emails to any of the myriad of people who are on. And while you're at it, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you find us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends about the show. Come on, they can totally binge watch it. They can power through and we can all talk about it and wallow in whatever's going to happen in the last episode together.
Right.
And of course, we hope you're enjoying the podcast after all that. So for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. That party trick is going to take some time getting used to.
And until next time,